Hello, creatives. It is early morning in Maine. It's a Friday. I'm having my coffee with cinnamon and in the studio getting ready to do the videos for the Moon series. I'm going to be using the archetype cards along with my Spirit in Nature, Cardology, Cards of Truth cards, a Lenormand deck, and a Starseed card. We're going to ask, what are we ready to release? Because it's a full moon. All right, if you're new to my channel, hello, my name is Beth. I'm going to be using these decks so that you can follow through with your Cards of Truth Cardology chart. That way, you'll be able to include your moon, emotionals, ecliptic, the life path, and Rahu, the North Node card, for where you want to be looking for a natural direction of where you can apply the messages. It will affect you the most in the house that your moon is transiting at this time. So check your astrology. You'll find links below as to where you can get your own free personal cardology chart if you don't already have one. So this is a Libra full moon in Aries and the first eclipse of the season. So let's look at the strongest transiting energies at this time for our moon sign, and then we'll consider the eclipse's energy with it. A little bit longer intro here, as there's a little bit more to get through. But honestly, it is the intertangled energies of Libra with Aries. So Libra, 7th house, relationships, it's air energy, Venus ruled, and the heart chakra. And then we have Aries, 1st house of self, Mars energy ruled, and the solar plexus, which is the plexus that gets things done, that chakra. So it's going to be an interesting mix. So in essence, bringing attention to how we'll take Aries action to implement your independence within Libra's decision making. It's balancing relationships. And honestly, for me, I'm just saying, we need to ask ourselves, how is my independence being influenced by the energies around me? Or how much and why are we holding ourselves back or undermining ourselves from living a truer version of ourselves? All right, I'm going to take a sip of coffee, then we're going to get into the eclipse. So essentially, the eclipse in general reveals what is hidden. The good, the bad, the ugly, and Libra moon brings attention to your emotional balance. So with an eclipse, it'll reveal what is out of balance, what has been hidden from you within your relationships, what you haven't really wanted to look at, what you've pushed aside, maybe repressed. Because it's in Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, it'll be something revealed about how you value yourself and the depth of your authenticity. The silver lining of whatever is being revealed is that it's ready to be cultivated, ready to be used to encourage an honest and stronger certainty of self. You, me, being the real you, and valuing your spirit self. Okay, so what might undermine all of this? Well, of course, it's going to be the reverse. Indecision, uncertainty, fear of coming out or calling out and getting real. Around any lower vibrational ego stuff, for whatever reason, Just remember, kindness and curiosity are the keys to unlocking your authenticity. It's a must. It's the only way to travel. All right, I have two mottos for this full moon. The first one is by Steven Spielberg, replace fear with curiosity. And the other one is Arnold Schwarzenegger. What is the point of being on this earth if you are going to be like everyone else? All right, so I'm going to shuffle and then we're going to get started with Aries. Okay, here we go. Okay, Aries moon, let's ask, what is Aries moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Libra and Aries skills of seeking balance and implementing your strengths, as always with kindness and curiosity, therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura that brings that light into the world. All right, Aries moon, you are Mars led. Happiest of birthdays to you this month. So for you, this is going to be about not jumping to conclusion. Remember, it's being filtered through Libra's emotional decision making, justice, and balance. Your spirit self is asking for patience within the relationships. Consider asking for time, whether you think you need it or not, to form a well thought out response. All right, let's see what you get for the archetype cards. Scribe. Well, that's interesting to me because I'm thinking writing it out, something like a judge might read all of the transcripts before really deciding on what the best action is for everyone involved, right? You want to do the higher vibrational thing. So, writing. And you never really know how much is being revealed or shared from the other person's point of view. So, along with scribing, this is about preserving knowledge and information. So, always good to keep a journal, right? The shadow attributes is altering the facts or plagiarizing others' work. So, you really want to be able to ask a lot of questions, understand the where, who, what, when, how about the other person's decision making. They're only going to share so much that they feel comfortable and safe. So, in this scribe, it is your job to come to this, whatever comes up for you in your relationships, whatever is begging for attention and investigation, to really get to the heart of the matter. That's going to be super important, only because you're going to need to know all of the everythings about what's going on in order to make a fair decision. A lot of people you may be running up into might be altering facts or plagiarism in something that somebody else has said. Maybe you're there to resolve an argument. Everybody's going to want to be in the best light possible. So that's going to be for you to figure out how truthful, yes, how just, and all the ins and outs about whatever comes up. Like I said, scribe is about preserving the knowledge and the information. So jot it down, think about it, take that time, whether you think you need it or not, because something else is going to follow. That's a direct message from your daimon. Don't rush in, because rushing in is only going to complicate things. This is about you getting it down on paper, really allowing some time for that to ferment, if you will, and then coming out with something that's really pretty pure and heart-led and honest. Okay, let's see what we get here for the spirit and nature. Seven of Spades. So first look and see if you have a Seven of Spades in your chart. If you're a Seven of Clubs like me, you have it in the Jupiter. So just thinking, it's about releasing and letting go of what's holding you back physically or mentally. So again, really necessary to put this in writing for yourself. There is a whole thing about sevens being that spiritual connotations of, it's the end of the week. It is Saturn led. The Seven of Spades is also the Tower. So things can come through like a bolt of lightning, or it could come crashing down. It is about clarity and about moving from victim to warrior. So while you're pondering everybody's part in whatever comes up in your relationships for yourself, very, very necessary with this card to ask yourself, if you've been undermining, if you've been allowing the partnerships to undermine in order to keep the peace or to feel like you're contributing to whatever the situation is. There's something here about the reinventing of self. You do that by letting go of the unhealthy baggage. Now, if that is emotional baggage, then that's where you're going to want to go into the relationships to see. Or do you have a lot of influence around you for an unhealthy lifestyle? Maybe you've been thinking about cleaning up the act and moving forward into a cleaner, more simple way of living. Perfect card for that, because ultimately the goal with the sevens is to move into something lighter. It's why I put the butterfly wings here and the butterflies. You are moving from something out of a toxic something, moving in through your cocoon stage, which is pretty much what the scribe asking you to give yourself some time. Ask for that cup of tea, anything that feels like enough to make those decisions for yourself. You're looking for justice, but you're also looking for balance. You want to do this kindly, so that is how you do it, right? That way you get a really, you're being asked a well thought out response. Seeing your part in things too, but not getting bogged down in that. That's for you to honor and own. That was the word coming through. Own. Every time some word gets mixed up for me, dyslexic, it always adds a little bit more importance, because that's the way it comes through for spirit for me. My daimon lives in Mercury, so it's my communications that are sometimes a little tougher for me. So wherever your daimon lives in your chart, it'll come through and help you in that way as well. That's where you are being challenged. So the North Node's really going to help you decide what direction to take all of this, rethinking about you and how you're taking care of yourself and what you're allowing other people to do within that. Oof, that's big. All right. Wow. Let's see what you get for the Lenormand. Okay, so this is a thinking card, cloudy or clear thinking. So definitely take that time to sort this through before you bring it to the table. You've got 2 weeks to do this. Literally, you've got 6 months. It is nothing that you have to deal and get through immediately. This can be bits and pieces at the time. It's going to come through. You're going to get the message. You're going to see it. You're going to understand it. You're going to want to journal, broach the subject when you're ready. It could be in the next 2 weeks. It could be later. It could just be about you figuring you out for now. Whatever the case may be, this is general, so I can't really pinpoint it for you exactly, but you get the idea. Figure yourself out, understand what's been holding you back mentally, emotionally. Let it go through deciding and making decisions for yourself in a cleaner, more well-rounded, thought-out way. Write them down so that you don't forget them. All of the conflicts, everything that you're feeling within your relationships. All right, let's see what we get for the starseed. Freedom. Follow your heart and nurture your soul with love and freedom to grow. Okay, so you're being held back somehow, either holding yourself back or you're in some kind of relationship that has tried to put you in a box. Okay, well, not an easy situation. However, you will find a way because it's like a butterfly and it's fire energy. You know, it is interesting with Aries and the moon and Mars and emotionally trying to balance things. So you may want to keep all of this under your hat for a while if this is really something touchy and trying to, get yourself out of a situation that you have found yourself in. All right, it's going to take strength and courage, but you have that as an Aries. What you're looking for is that loving kindness, that curiosity. So look to your Rahu, and it'll help you figure this one out. All right, thank you, and best of luck. Okay, Taurus Moon. What is Taurus Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Libra and Aries skills of seeking balance and to implement your strengths, as always with kindness and curiosity, therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light into the world. Taurus Moon, you're emotionally Venus-led. So for you, this is about keeping a certain lightness of being emotionally within your relationships for whatever is going to come up for you. So let's look at the archetype cards. Mediator. The light attributes, gifts for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life. Respect for both sides of an argument. How perfect is that for the Libra? All right, the shadow attributes, negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. Ooh, this is a good one for what we're up against here. It is addressing specifically what we are going through with this full moon in this Libra full moon in Aries. Exactly. Finding that balance, finding that fairness, the judgment and the justice, giving yourself some time, knowing that the strategies that you are looking for to come through in the highest vibe possible. You want to be very clear about your own motives and about what direction you want things to move, and having that agenda to push something through. So, not being the aggressor, that could really be that Aries influence. You might want to look to your chart to see what kind of influence Aries and where your Mars is, because that will have a lot of determination about how to move forward. Really good idea to look at your Rahu card, your North Node as well, what house that's in, and your card, because that also will suggest where best to put that energy so that you know how to approach this, in what fashion. All right, so mediator, this is you being that person who is there to help others, and this would be about you and your others to come to some conclusions, some agreement, some balance between you and them. It could be any kind of a relationship, a love or a family or friend or business, doesn't really matter. You're going to be coming up against something that needs to be kind of broken down and reorganized in a way that's going to work better. And you're going to be at the heart of this, being the mediator for it. So it does sort of sound more like a workplace environment or a friendship kind of thing, where maybe you've got two friends that you are the confidant for, and they've been talking about each other, putting you in kind of a delicate situation to figure out how you're all going to get to be back on the same page. It may or may not be able to happen, but how much does it need to live in the shadows, and how much does it need to be brought to light? Oof, that's a big one. All right. Four of Spades for the spirit and nature. So this is about having some time out. You might not want it, but you are being invited to take it one way or another. Either you make room for it yourself, or it is made for you. Fours are very stable. It is the Hierophant energy. It's Mercury energy. So this is going to come through. Really, you're going to hear it through spirit. So it's coming from the divine for you. It is about taking that time to really weigh the pros and cons. You really want to put the Libra on here, because emotionally, being Venus led, the both of you, Libra and Taurus, it is about emotionally feeling it through. So it's going to take some quiet time, some downtime, some alone time, or wherever it is that you think the best, right? Where it's easy for you to listen and hear what's coming through, whether you're playing your own cards or your pendulum or some game of other divination. You can do divining rods, whatever it takes for you. Just sitting in meditation and writing is always a good thing as well. But quiet and listen. Look for those synchronicities, because they will give you the clues as to how to approach this dilemma between associates of some sort. All right. It could be siblings too that just came through. It might be different for many of you. Whatever it is, it's more than two people, obviously. And you are to listen. Take some time for yourself to really decide how much of this you really want or need, and how to deal with it. If there's one thing that I don't like, is being used to be a sounding board for someone else's inabilities to talk to the right person themselves and get it straightened out. Why would you want to be that go-between? The only reason why would be, well, not the only reason, but of course, if it's making you feel important to be the one that is delivering the counseling, if you will, as a mediator to bring points of view. That's all well and good, but at some point, those two have to talk and have a conversation. So if you can help them do that and stay clear yourself is the high road, if you will. All right, let's see what you get for the Lenormand deck. This is very nice. This is about really embracing the kindness of this. Progress will happen. Progress heals pain drawn from the past. So good. That says that you are going to be doing the right thing for yourself and therefore for everyone. It could be that you are a healer and a mediator already. So that just came through, and the message to even healers need time to heal. Channeling through messages like this. You can be the conduit. It doesn't need to bring your energy to it. It's a funny way of doing it, isn't it? If you are a healer. I mean, that's the way it works for me, is just this. I feel like a mediator a lot of the time because I give good counsel and people appreciate the counsel, the depth and the insight. And this is what you're looking at. However, it's not yours, right? It's not yours. It's only yours to do this carefully and with care, right? Then you let it go. All right. I love that you get the stork here because this is promising delight. And you can see it's kind of like flying away into this abyss that is more free from being laid up, whether you want to or not, to flying away from that kind of responsibility. Okay, so it's coming through that was truly a message for one of you out there, at least, that to take care of you, taking care of everybody else, to give yourself that time to kind of clear and cleanse and drop that energy that wants to stick and feel good about yourself. Okay, all right, let's see what we get for the starseed. Advancement. A strong energy is propelling you forward. Follow the stirrings of your heart. Such a nice message for being Venus led. All right, there you have it. Best of luck to you, and thank you. Okay, Gemini Moon, you're emotionally Mercury led. So for you, this is about focus and grounding while listening within your relationships. Ooh, listening. All right. Archetype card. Let's see what you get. The Alchemist. Such a beautiful card here. Only because this is you being able to figure out the formula, if you will, to transform the base motives and goals into golden wisdom. That is going to take some listening for sure. Wow. All right. So this is you listening within your relationships, not listening to being prepared to retort. No, this is about listening, taking time to absorb what was said, weigh it, balance it. We're going to use our Libra here, and then we're going to understand how that is going to come from you, yourself. So the shadow attributes is to misuse that power and knowledge that comes through the spiritual practice. So, all right. I'm taking a moment because I'm realizing that my dyslexic communication skills are being tested with this one for some reason. I'm not sure. It seems like every reading so far has tripped me up a little bit, and that is my daimon coming through. And I think it's because these messages are really important and bigger than we realize. And I think that has to do with the eclipse and the season ahead of us. So take your time with this one. You've got months, it's last 6 months. This may just be the tip of the iceberg where you're being kind of given the heads up. And it will work itself out, but it will take you really thinking about life as a formula. You do a little bit of this, somebody else does a little bit of that, and the consequences of those actions, those words, that communication build something. So what is that going to build for you? Emotionally, to be verbally connected with that, it is really when you're able to focus and ground while listening. Hardest thing to do. And for you, Gemini, it's your air energy, and you're going to want to just express what's going on. So take a moment, understand the elements of what's going on, and think about the bigger picture for everyone. The Seven of Clubs. So, 7, Saturn, it's a heavier energy, but it's also very spiritual. These are life lessons that really are about transformation at the highest levels. There's a bit of a desperation that goes with the sevens because sevens are that gateway card. They want to break through to the other side, this living life on earth and being grounded with that Saturn heavy life lessons of letting go, and really struggling through those letting goes, because if you're attached and in it and emotionally invested, it's not an easy thing. And we all have that tendency to victimize ourselves, or that inner critic, that self-talk that's so damaging. So it is moving out of victims mode and into more of a warrior mode. Now, it takes great strength. It takes really being able to figure out that mix of you, life, this other person, to get down to that golden wisdom through understanding what ingredients goes into the motives of others and yourself. That's the way to really get to that knowledge about the whole situation. So that is what we are looking for here. What is the cocoon? What is in the makeup of that cocoon that you can move through? We are looking at intellectual pursuits here. This is the Tower card in the Major Arcana. That's the one it's related to. So Hard work pays off. Yes, positive attitude is really key here. If you look at it as a mystery, a game that is going to reveal the winning ticket at the end. There's no losing in this game, it's winning, but how much do you win? It's kind of like bingo. So it's going to come through as a bolt of clarity, or it could just have something rug pulled out from under you. Won't know. This is a general reading, so it is individually for you. However, this is really seeking the truth. The Seven of Clubs is a spiritual truth seeker. It's a teacher. It gets into the science of things, the resilience, and its clarity through study, the intellectual pursuits of the club suit. All right, it's air energy as well. Beautiful, right? Okay, so yeah, it is like this recipe for getting to the motives, but to look at the motives as the rules of the game. Interesting. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of the emotional, a little bit of the studying. To move on to something that is going to move you from being a victim, whether that's victimizing yourself or someone else trying to victimize you. Those are the ingredients, if you will, that you are going to be looking for. All right, let's see what we get for the Lenormand, an anchor. All right, so it says here, the anchor's sign of a stable event, basked in sunshine, secure and content. When the anchor's some distance away from you, hope will fade and leave life askew. So you really want to be grounding yourself these days, whatever that takes, whatever you need to really plant your feet and dive into this Saturn energy, this gravity of what you are looking at, because that is where you're going to find your answers. You want to lower the anchor, get in there, and really dissect what you need. Fill it out, write it out like a recipe, what's going in and what you want the end dish to look like, what that relationship between you and God knows how many relationships we're talking about here. It could be love, it could be partnerships in any which way, family, children, parents, friends, workmates. Ground, Gemini, Moon, ground. All right, let's see what we get here for the starseed signs. The universe has been gently nudging you forward by revealing to you signs and synchronicities. I'd look for butterflies. I would look for that breeze on the wind coming through. Every time that the wind picks up, pay attention. Right now here in Maine, there are no butterflies, but you could be looking for those in picture books or television or whatever messages that are going to come through for you, being that kind of suit and also how your moon is emotionally led. It is verbal, it is Mercury, it is something that is going to come through some kind of communication. So look to your second house as well. And think about your Rahu and where you're being invited to explore. Try that, see if it doesn't open things up a little bit for you. All right, there you have it. Best of luck and thank you. Okay, Cancer Moon, you're emotionally moon led. So for you this time, you're to consider what motivates you to be you within your relationships. All right, let's see what you get for the archetype card. Gossip. Light attributes awakens consideration for the feelings of others, honoring trust. The shadow attribute thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information, betraying confidences. Oh, that is a big one. So either you're feeling some kind of power about having all the juicy little gossipy bits. It can be so delicious to, let everybody know what's going on about everybody else. However, why would you want to? That is not power. That is actually undermining who you are. But to awaken the consideration for the feelings of others, consideration, honoring trust. It's a big one. I get asked to do that all the time and to really move in a way that you can use the knowledge of what you know to help other people without revealing where that knowledge came from, if you get what I mean. Otherwise, when you are just gossiping for gossiping's sake, you're really undermining who you are and you're stealing somebody else's thunder. It's their story, it's theirs to share, it's not yours. You can listen to it, you can take something from it, you can build your own support within from it to use in another situation where you are being asked to help someone, having that private conversation. Wouldn't you rather be the person that people want to confide in because they're safe, right? They feel trust with you. Of course. Being moon led, Cancer. This is really interesting about the motivations. What motivates you to do that? Obviously, it would be to acquire a higher, more mature vibration, right? And in that way, you can guide as a cardinal energy that you are seeing the bigger picture. Just imagine having that kind of information, that beautiful trust and feeling secure to share your most secrets with you. It's big. And you can use those in a way that helps other people. Poetry, song, story, paintings, sculpture, to take what you know and channel it into something creative is the best. All right, let's see what you get for spirit and nature. Got the Four of Hearts. Oh, this is brilliant. Okay, so it brings through something more for you. One of you, all of you, I don't know, but it seems like it's good advice no matter what your situation. So, gossip. You may be living with a gossip and feeling really untrusted or feeling lack of trust for this other person. So, stability within the relationship is where you need to be paying attention. Do you say something to your gossipy partner? Are they always gossiping to you about other people? Do you have a friend that gossips to you about everybody else? How do you bring about that gossip's not what you're interested in? That when they're speaking of it in this juicy, isn't it so amazing? Wow. Bringing it down to who they're gossiping about, putting a consideration on that person's feelings to the gossiper. Okay, so you're to look for those opportunities to build this solid, grounded, secure existence for yourself within the gossips. Oh my goodness. And being moon led is just so intuitive. I just have this vision pop into my head of you just sitting there listening, understanding the gossip and the need for the gossiping, and being able to find the right words, something to say that helps the gossip or be more grounded, more stable, more in self, not needing the gossip, perhaps asking them about their day, changing the subject would work. It just came through. And also how you can stabilize yourself, understanding how the poor person that's being gossiped about interject how and where they might be coming from, to give that conversation some gravity and direction, right? Not gossip for gossip's sake, but to turn it with this really consideration and humbleness for the poor person that's being gossiped about. That's my dyslexia again. I swear every single reading, it's the way it comes through for me because my daimon is in Mercury, and it is a verbal thing that when that happens, I'm very, very close to something. So hopefully this is coming through loud and clear. You to stabilize within or whenever you find yourself in a situation of gossip. All right, that's a big deal. Let's see. Yeah, birds. See, it's chatter. Chatter, chatter, chatter. This gossip could be about you. That just came through. So someone out there is being gossiped about. Well, if that's the way it's going, then you're going to need to know who your true friends are, who you can trust. So be on the lookout for that. You just got to ask questions. It's coming through with whoever it is you're talking about, who they're talking to. You can see a lot of who friends are by their friends. Are they trustworthy? Are they gossips? Do you get pulled into the gossip with them? If they're gossiping, there's no trust. So just live your life, live at large, and No apologies. Interesting. Wow. Okay, that Four of Hearts, there's a little bit more there for you. This is the High Priestess energy. Well, you know the High Priestess. So beautiful, right? All that energy, all of that really lovely, what would I call it? How better can you go than wisdom and divine guidance? There's this epiphanies, but also just knowing that you are in good hands with whatever it is that needs to come through for you. Your guides, your daimon, coming through as the High Priestess, asking you to really ground in the love, to be really, because it's Mercury led, the Four of Hearts. Look to your Mercury placement and take into consideration the card that's there. You'll have a little more direction in where to find that balanced within this partnership that you've got going on with the gossiper. Or if it's you that's gossiping and finds that, you feel more powerful with having that knowledge. There's more power in keeping it sacred and using it in the betterment of all. That's how you're going to raise the vibration, either for you or the people that you are dealing with. So this is the healthy emotional balance card, and being able to articulate, because it's Mercury led, and how to be feeling a more fulfilled connection, because it's grounding to share your wisdom. It's grounding and mature to honor your friendships and honor your confidentiality. Yeah, that's where it needs to go. All right, cool. Very fun. Yeah, free spirit. To be a free spirit is to float without walls, to fly without judgment, and to love without conditions. How is that for bringing the light to the gossipy situation? Ground in the freedom of flying and floating without walls, to go into who's ever gossiping, to be like, no judgment here. Beautiful. All right. And to live that, if you're the one being gossiped about, it's perfect. All right, Cancer Moon, thank you and best of luck. Okay, Leo Moon, we're going to ask, what is Leo Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Libra and Aries skills of seeking balance and implementing your strengths? As always, with kindness and curiosity, and therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura, and bring that light into the world. Okay, Leo Moon, you're emotionally sun-led. So for you, it's about asking questions and listening, giving much consideration to what you hear. The answers could confirm your thinking and make or break ties within your relationships. That's people, that's places, it's things, how you feel, workmates, love relationships, family, friends, partners. It is you pretty much being who you are within the relationships. So there's something going on for you that needs to be brought to the surface. And the best way to do that for you during this season is to ask a lot of questions. Let's find out what this is all about. The archetype card is the visionary card. Light attributes: capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. The shadow attributes: selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. So this could be a confidence thing where whatever is going on within the relationships, the reason why you need to be asking a lot of questions is that there is some insecurity about your visionary capabilities. And who, what, where, and how is that coming from? Because, as you know, it is practice. It is not grandizing. It is really trusting in your intuitive abilities. But somebody's undermining, and you need to find out who that is. Or, it could be something of the shadow attributes. Because of the undermining, it could look more like you needing to feel like you need to put more forth than what is actually coming through for you, making the story bigger. The being sun-led, it's very easy to want to make everything big and beautiful. And, ooh, can you hear the plow? We're having a snowstorm. It is a statewide cautionary. Yeah, it's pretty messy out there, so we might hear that again later. But regardless, let's get back to the reading. So whether or not you're feeling like you've got to present more than you're actually feeling is a flag. So the questions you need to ask is, why would someone make you feel that way? That's either within yourself, or that is something that is coming from them as not feeling safe or not feeling trust, that undermining you in some way. Let's move on to the spirit in nature and see what we get here. Might help give us a little more direction. So it's the Ace of Clubs, and this is about owning your originality. This is about having that, and the aces reflect the sun as well, so this is very apropos for you to get this card. It's intellectual pursuits. It is visionary, and it is also, if you think of the leaves of the tree, which is what the clubs represent in that tree, it is absorbing the nutrients from the universe. So universal knowledge is coming through to you. And this is that perspective thing that you've got to really understand in order to have your visionary properties come through for you the way they're supposed to. Not the way you think they are, but the way that they are for you. It's different for everyone. Different for everyone. So practice, practice, practice so that it can come through for you the way it's supposed to, and you can ground and feel secure in it not feel like you need to blow it out of proportion or make it bigger and more exciting and more fabulous than maybe it is. You know, there's something to really going with the flow and sticking to the bits that come through that you know from your practice are the real thing. To add anything to it is you putting the energy from you and your egotistical needs on it. I'm sure you understand that, but I'm not sure with the reading. It's coming through that there is some sort of barrier for you, that in order for you to really be able to relax and fully give yourself to practicing this visionary abilities that you have, so that you can get comfortable and therefore, really, when you think about it, what I feel is just the super groundedness that you put forth, knowing just how far you can take it. And then just simply saying, well, that's all that's coming through. And I'm not going to try to add anything to it because that would be for me. Or at least acknowledge that that's it. And then put your 2 cents worth in if you've got something else that you want to share from experience or something like that. Perfectly okay. But you just need to know the difference between the two. Very important. There are a lot of really good people out there that you can take classes from to really cement that down for you. And that way you come into your vision of who you are, channeling originality from you. Oh, it's beautiful. All right, let's see. Yeah, see, this is really lovely. That is where you're headed. Oh, look at the color. I love this. And look at the sun, right? It looks like sunshine. So sun-led, self-led, really grounding into who you are so that nobody can shake that from you. And the flowers, it's all good. It is definitely just you getting there from here. And I think it's interesting that there is a single spade here. And not that the Lenormand cards are in any way connected to the cards of truth or Catamansi cards. It is just that when I see something like that, it also brings that single ace of spades to the equation here. And that again is sun. So look to your sun position to see what card you have there. That could give you a starting point for where you need to be asking the questions, and not just with your relationship people. You need to be asking these questions of yourself and get real honest with it, because this is where whatever you've been putting on the back burner or suppressing is going to come to light. So it's very interesting that you'll be able to see it, deal with it, get clean with it, and allow the true, honest capabilities to come through for you. I love that you're going to be coming into your capabilities just by acknowledging where to begin the begin and begin it. Asking questions and listening very carefully. Because as it says, what came through for you for these readings, it can confirm your thinking and make or break your ties within the relationship. So you'll know what to do. All right, let's see. Celebrate your achievements. You truly are a gift to the universe. Yeah, it's just practice and getting comfortable and really knowing your material, how you do it, and how it comes through. Yeah, beautiful. All right, Leo. Moon, there you go. Thank you and best of luck. Okay, Virgo Moon, we're going to ask, what is Virgo Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Libra and Aries skills, seeking balance and implementing your strengths, as always, with kindness and curiosity, and therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light into the world. Okay, Virgo Moon, you're emotionally Mercury led. So for you, it's going to be about clearing your mind of judgments before going into a conversation within a relationship. So, meaning that these could be judgments about yourself, your abilities, your confidence levels, that kind of thing. Or it could be that you have ready made judgments about the relationships that you already have. So, to release those expectations and go with an open heart and clear mind, and honestly just ask a lot of questions without waiting for answers that you think you're going to get. Just keep asking questions and it will take you to a new understanding of whatever it is that's going on within your relationships for you. You will open it up and see something brand new. All right, let's see what you get for the archetype cards. Mystic. So this is you reveling in an intimate union with the divine, or having some sort of delusions around the rapport with the divine. So, whether you're trusting that or not, are you placing your judgments on yourself as well as others? And what are you going to do to balance those out? So, let's turn over the spirit and nature and see what you get there, because this whole mystic thing is you just being super comfortable with having your spirit guide right there for you. Not so much that it interferes with your daily day. You know what I mean? It's like to rely on it too much, because they're there to help you help yourself. Really, not much more than that. They do put fate in your path, but that is to mirror for you your reactions to how you deal with that kind of thing. Whatever that fate might be, it's going to be different for everyone, because obviously this is a general reading and we're not quite sure what we're talking about here. So it's got to be open-minded enough for you to just really understand that that closeness that you feel with your spirit guide is leading you in the right direction. Now, we've got a lot of snow plows. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but we are having a blizzard in Maine. So here we are. Okay, let's see what you get for the spirit and nature. So we've got the Five of Hearts, and really, whether it's reversed or not, it doesn't matter. In these readings, we're going to consider all aspects because we're releasing something. So in order to release something, even if it's a good something, we're making room for something different and better for us. So the Five of Hearts is that emotional pull and it is like this back and forth to understand yourself better. This is Jupiter energy, so it's enjoyable, it's justice, so it's being accountable for getting through something, for your own healing, for facing your how comfortable you are, your finding your healthy emotions. That's what this is. And figuring out through trial and error the success that you want. It's nothing that's going to happen overnight. This takes a while. Fives are a working card. They're happy in the work, but it is success after failure. And it's not really failure, it is that just didn't work as well as I know it can, so I'm going to try something else. I'm going to glean a lovely little nugget of knowledge about what didn't work, and then I'm going to move on. I always felt the Five of Hearts as a music kind of a thing, the melody, the putting the notes in, what works, what doesn't, playing that back and forth, much like the thoughts in your head. Writing them down on paper, doing a paragraph and editing until you've got a haiku, that kind of thing, down to the bare nitty-gritty goodness, the essence of something. So that's what you're doing here, finding the essence of you within your relationships and how free you are or feel you are to do exactly that. And do you need to rely on spirit, or are you more than you want to, more than you feel you need to, or are you feeling capable enough to be able to just go at it? I don't know what that means, but that's what came through. So maybe it means something to you. I'm not sure. Okay, so also hearing that there's some fear in the simplicity, that you've got people around you that within your relationships that are like hardcore about the religion. Okay. And within that, there needs to be a lightness of being to have happened there, to not being so led that there needs to be more room for you. And somehow that ties into some judgments, either about you or you about other people or about yourself. Interesting. Okay, well, let's see what you get for the Lenormand, the Scythe. Yeah, so this really is about simplifying, getting down to the nitty-gritty and going with those gleaming nuggets, not like a buffet of religious structure to abide by, but finding your own path, right? Your own path, bit by bit, and extraditing yourself from the mass. It makes me feel very claustrophobic, like there's something really tight, almost like you're in some sort of religious group that maybe has taken it too far, or maybe you're feeling like it's not for you anymore and you're looking for a way to cut yourself out of it. kindness, right? Kindness and curiosity about this part. You will find a way, and you will be able to do it nicely and cleanly. You know what your connection to the divine is. So that's your truth. All right. Okay. Intuition for a starseed. Trust your intuition. It has been guiding you to the answers that you seek. All right. Well, I'm going to trust that you know what this is about, and that if you're feeling smothered with rules and regulations about the divine, it just doesn't work that way. The divine is light and beauty, love, and kindness, not rules and regulations about do's and don'ts. All right. Okay. There you have it. Thank you, and best of luck. Okay, Libra Moon, we are going to ask, what is Libra Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks, while utilizing Libra and Aries skills of seeking balance and implementing your strengths, as always, with kindness and curiosity, therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light into the world. Okay, Libra Moon, this is your moon. You are emotionally Venus-led. So for you, remember, it's being filtered through Aries influence. So take your time, ask lots of qualifying questions before making any quick decisions, because Aries likes to just jump in and make a choice, where Libra sometimes has to really think about the pros and cons for quite a while. All right, so let's see what you get for the archetype card. Thief. Light attributes sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. The shadow attributes stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers you think you lack. So, wow, that's a big one, especially through Aries, because Aries is that first house of self. It's very strong, it's very opinionated, it is very clear whether you're right or wrong. Aries could bring that to your decision making through this time period. So you really are going to, as suggested, look at what is yours that you know can't be taken. Rely on that, and therefore be asking a bunch of qualifying questions, because whatever answers you get is definitely going to add to your decision making about the relationships. Some things are going to go, some things are going to get added to. If it's good already, it could just be redefining the goodness and making it even better. But if there is someone that is undermining, or what's the word? Usurps, where they try to usurps, can't remember how to pronounce that, but they are like vampires. They just constantly take your ideas, take your money, take your time, take your emotion, take your energy, just taking, and pretending that they're borrowing, and it's not okay. So there may be someone like that within your relationships that maybe doing it a little, maybe doing it a lot, maybe you've reached your breaking point of deciding, what has to go, what's okay to stay, and how to make the most of it while you really save yourself. Because after a while, that gets old. Yeah, there's something about that quiet thief in the night, just insidiously weaving the web to get more from you. Very sticky. It could be family. It's so hard when it's family that if you have to guard against that. All right, well, let's see if we can shed some light on this with the spirit and nature. The King of Clubs. All right, so you're thinking really hard about how to deal with this situation. Something's got to go. Some part of it, maybe all of it. But intellectually, which is the club suit, the leaves of the tree, absorbing all of that intuitive information coming through for you. Now, the kings, they are all about deconstruction or destruction altogether. However, the way they do it is through grace. They do it with grace, and they do it through revelation to overcome any limitations around yourself, your thinking, your beliefs. So, and ultimately, it's to find an inner peace. So, what could hold you back in that is a resistance to change, which is highly likely. It is very difficult to initiate this kind of change because you could keep coming up with excuses or want to think that you're keeping the peace through the divine, or there could even be a measure of arrogance that you're working with or trying to deal with within yourself or with this other energy. Okay. So the big think, sacrificing to a good measure, not a big measure, but the right measure. It's Pluto energy. It is change through crisis. And I would coming through as wait. Don't make your decisions lightly or quickly. So something's coming. Be ready for it. This is something happening, an event of some sort that is going to bring it to light. And because you have been watching and waiting and practicing a speech, if you will, to deliver what you need, voicing what you need within the relationship, some event, it just says event, will be coming and helping you, giving you the opportunity to express what you need to express. In that loving kindness, you've got to prepare for that. Whoever this is that is refusing to do what they need to do for themselves, and they're constantly looking to you to do things for them. Okay. You got to teach them how to fish. I love that proverb. Don't give them fish, teach them how to fish in whatever way that you can pull yourself away from that sticky situation. It's going to take some energy and it's going to take some time, and it might take it in bits and pieces, but it will happen if you decide to stay. If this is for you, if it's worth it. I mean, obviously, if it's your children, it's worth it. But if it is your boss or your colleagues, or there's certain friends or workmates that are constantly stealing from you, then yes, you've got to be very calculating and very clear and very ready. Like a king. Yes, like a king. All right, let's see what you get for the Lenormand. The house. Yeah, this is really going to boil down to you having all of your ducks in a row, all of your thoughts aligned and ready. This is you, as your foundation has to be really solid before you prepare. I mean, look at the buildings here. We've got single hearts here. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Prepare, prepare, prepare. All right. Wow. Let's see what you get for the starseed. Abundance. When your heart's intention is to serve humanity, doors of abundance naturally open. See, that is where that king comes through, because it's humanity, to serve humanity. That is the king of clubs. It is that old soul knowledge, that growth through crisis and destruction. But it is the destruction of your self, your limiting beliefs about yourself. That's what's destroyed, because you do have it. You've got that foundation. You are letting go of bits and pieces of you that are not measuring up. This is a self-revelation by surrendering illusions and just really knowing who you are. You've got some stuff to let go to prepare for whatever it is that's coming. Oof, that sounds big. Well, best of luck to you, and thank you. Okay, Scorpio Moon, we're going to ask, what is Scorpio Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Libra and Aries skills, seeking balance and implementing your strengths, as always with kindness and curiosity, therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light into the world. Okay, Scorpio Moon, you're emotionally Mars led. So for you, it'll be about finding a state of being in a lightheartedness before going into any conversations within your relationships. Okay, so prepare. Get in that good spot before whatever happens or whatever conversations you find yourself in. Stop and prepare for a moment to just feel your own goodness. All right, let's see what we get for the archetype card. Knight, the light attributes, loyalty, romance, chivalry, and a love of honor. The shadow attributes, allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle, romantic delusions. So this, of course, could be all within yourself. This could be the battle of whether or not you feel loyal to yourself, whether you love yourself, whether you're willing to stand up for yourself, really feeling that grounded strength that someone of noble meaning would need to be, and how much you really trust in that within yourself. Or are you allowing that destructive part rule and create those romantic delusions? Good questions. Okay, so this could be what your issues could be within relationships, how true you are being to yourself, what kind of wants and needs are wrapped up in that want, and feeling how you can bring a cleaner delivery to it all. All right, that's what's coming through. So let's see what we get for the spirit and nature. The Four of Clubs. So the Four of Clubs really lends that getting out of your head and getting into your heart, really grounding into what you know to be true, and thinking about things, really taking some time to get out of any stewing in the pot of resentment or woe is me kind of victim or any of that. You got to step out of that mindset. If you're in it, we all get in it from time to time. We're all very easy to let that inner critic have its say. However, that's not the way that you need to be going into your conversations over the next couple of weeks, and it could lead into the next several months or so through eclipse season. What starts now really ends in 6 months. It's that kind of beginning, follow through. So bits and pieces, but it's really going to pick up and show you what this next month's are going to be about. So for you, it's about getting out of the sticky mindset, seeing like a fly paper or, like the very cruel mouse paper that you can get mice to get stuck on, but they don't die. It's just really awful stuff. But that can be what's within you, that stickiness. That's what's coming through. So you drink lots of water, clear your mind, go smell some roses. Okay, there's whatever it takes to flip that switch from the inner critic to possibilities. That's what you need to be doing for yourself, because that's where you want to go. You want to get grounded. You want to get focused. You want to have that solid truth within you, around you, and let it channel through you. Wow, Scorpio, this is pretty big. Okay, let's see what you get for the Lenormand. The mountain. Yeah, so you just want that kind of gravity to the situation for you to just be feeling your roots like a mountain, just grounded to earth, a part of earth. For a Scorpio moon being water led and a fixed moon, to get out of that mucky mire, that sticky, almost like here in Maine, it would be like the clam flats, where it's almost like, oh gosh, trying to think of the name for the mud that you get in and you just sink, right? And it's so hard to get out of. You could, in the clam flats, you can lose your boots. You just pull your foot right out of your boot. It's that kind of stickiness that you're being asked to take a deeper look at. That voice that wants, it's like that catch-22. In the stickiness, you get to prove yourself right. And you get to be the champion, the one that says, all right, now I'm going to be chivalry. Swear this dyslexic thing's coming through so strong through these readings, and it's only because they're so close. Yes, my daimon, my spirit guide, is around Mercury, the communication. So that's why this happens when I'm getting close to what it is. So you want that, you want the honor, you want the chivalry, you want to feel the loyalty to self. You want to put yourself in that beautiful, lovely romance with self, to prepare and be that. However, what launches that feeling is the sticky goopiness that is so hard to pull yourself out of. So yeah, it's coming through just that. Is it going to be easy? No, the mountain is also obstacles. So over the next few weeks, as this full moon comes and as you release with it into the dark moon, you'll have a few moments of that where you can completely release it, or as much of it as is ready, and then move on. These obstacles could be carrying out over the next few months. You'll get bits and pieces of what triggers that reaction of being stuck, critical, needing to get yourself out of it, and having the other voice come through that now you're going to champion for yourself. The beginning of the begin of what's the word? Of disrupting. That's the word they want. The disrupting of that pattern is to stop and smell the roses. Whenever that critic is there, just say, you know what? I'm just going to smell my roses. I'm going to go find something pretty. I'm going to sit with prettiness for a minute. And I hear you. I get it. But it's not going to trigger the usual. It's going to trigger something different, something cleaner, something more grounded, something more there, real, something more mature. Okay. And deserving. Okay, yeah, deserving. Absolutely. The real thing. Okay, there you go. Cool. Let's see what you get for the starseed. Up the starseed. I love this. raise the vibration of the planet through your radiant, loving light. Oh, that's beautiful. You will get there from here. Oh my goodness. That's lovely though. Good for you. Best of luck, and as always, thank you. Okay, Sagittarius Moon, we are going to ask, what is Sagittarius Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Libra and Aries skills of seeking balance and implementing your strengths, as always, with kindness and curiosity, therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light into the world. So, Sagittarius Moon, you are emotionally Jupiter led. So, for you, it's about gravity and settling into a quiet state of mind before going into any conversations within your relationships. So, gather and ground so that you are strong and really focused on where and what your needs are and how to implement them. All right, holding your own. Let's see what you get for the archetype cards. Detective, the light attribute, great powers of observation and intuition, desire to seek out the truth. The shadow attributes, voyeurism and falsifying information. That's juicy. Okay, so powers of observation and intuition for the truth. Now that's the crux of this, isn't it? The truth. How much of it is true, and how much do you feel that you have to lie or alter the truth or embellish or tell half-truths, and why? What would be the reason for it? Some kind of fear, some kind of unsettledness within. Maybe you're needing something from someone that you don't feel you can deliver your own self. That kind of thing. That would be falsifying information. So, how are you going to bring a truer truth to your conversations about yourself as well as the other person, and how to do that kindly? All right, let's see what we get for the spirit and nature. Oh, of course, the King of Hearts. So there's some sacrificing some limiting beliefs about yourself. The sooner that you can get to the depth of why, the sooner you can release them. The King of Hearts is all kings, really. They are changed through crisis, but that crisis can come through like a real crisis, rug being pulled out from under you, or it can come through like a bolt of clarity. This is being a visionary, emotional visionary, being noble and giving. Now, the sacrifice that the kings do, it's more of like a self-sacrifice of limiting beliefs. The sacrifice is an offer to the divine for growth within. Oh, yes. But it is also, that growth is also to be that truth, that emotional rock for other people. The King of Hearts is ultimately the ultimate. knows when, where, how much, who, how to give support. I mean, it really is the ultimate parenting of self and therefore others. Really hard to do, really hard to step into those truth shoes and deliver that truth through a more truthful self in order to bring that truth to any conversations. So that is why you are being asked to really have gravity and a quiet mind. Don't go into something all in a tither, because if you've been triggered, you're not going to be of a quiet mind or in any kind of gravity to behave as a person of nobility. You really is asking you to find that within yourself, discover it. All right, I think that's it. Let's see what there is for the Lenormand. Got the coffin. The coffin is definitely putting an end to something, something about you, something about a need to embellish or maybe omit parts. That part of you that feels and fears the need to do that, that's the part that needs a deeper understanding of, a deeper truth for you, so that you can sacrifice that in the best way possible. Kindness, curiosity, baby steps, and understand that the truth ultimately will set you free, free from yourself and the needs of any misleading anything for any reason. Hard to do if you're invested in a certain outcome. However, if you are to move on in a more grounded, solid realness, it's going to have to, something's got to give. Something's got to be let go of. I'm just getting such a feeling of relief and release with not falsifying anything, to live a right life. There is a cost, it's coming through, but the cost is the cost is not what you think it is. Oh, that's very nice. That's very good. It is something of an unburdening that is going to make everybody feel better. That's beautiful. How lovely is that? Because perhaps you haven't felt the realness in the relationship. You've kept yourself from it like a wall, but that wall needs to come down and there needs to be a new honesty about things. But it's going to be okay. It's not what you fear. There's actually going to be some kind of grateful gratitude that comes with that. Almost like sparking a new love. How beautiful. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Let's see what you get for the starseed. Release. Release anything that keeps you from your path of authenticity. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is really, truly beautiful. You, definitely finding you. A nice, cleaner, more beautiful you. All right. Thank you and best of luck. Okay, Capricorn Moon. We are going to ask, what is Capricorn Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Libra and Aries skills of seeking balance and implementing your strengths, as always with kindness and curiosity, therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light into the world. Okay, Capricorn, Moon, you are emotionally Saturn led. So for you, it's letting the dust settle. Got to collect yourself and get in the mind of action instead of reaction before any conversations within your relationships. Wow. Okay. Clearing the dust, collecting yourself. Oh, I'm sorry. Letting the dust settle and collecting yourself to get in the mindset of holding your own and acting out of your own knowingness instead of reacting out of fear or want of pleasing and that kind of thing for a particular outcome. So to settle before any kind of conversation, gather your thoughts, and then as you broach the subject, you come at it from a incredibly solid, clear point of view. All right, here we go. Exorcist. Light attributes. Freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. All right. Shadow attributes. Fear of facing your own demons. Yeah, you see, that is exactly what that is about. You coming through with a very clean intention. Okay, so I'm reading this for myself as well. I am a Capricorn Moon. It's my only anchor. So here we go. We are looking at exercising whatever is false, whatever is impure, that leads to destructive behavior. Destructive behavior in that you can set yourself up for, I won't say failure. Failure is not the word, but you're setting yourself up for the impulse, the reactionary, the conditioning way of behavior for something that undermines you being a true, truthful you. That's why we're being advised to ground and gather and have that mindset of solidness before anything is brought to light, so that you know exactly where you stand and where your power is. Not to react in some way that literally is fearing of facing the full truth. So you've got to gather in order to do that. You can't just step into something. You can sometimes. All right, sometimes that will be possible. But during this period over the next 2 weeks, we are looking to exercise destructive impulses. Destructive in what undermines. Okay. Yeah. That undermines and leads to supporting the bad behavior of not looking at, not dealing with the bad behavior. Of course, right? Of course. Oh, all right. Let's look at the spirit and nature. The Nine of Diamonds. Okay, so nines. This is about letting go of old family DNA, karma, drama of family. This is literally allowing a newfound value to emerge by releasing what needs to go, releasing the parts that have been so deeply conditioned to behavior that is to serve someone other than yourself, because you can serve yourself as well as others. Sorry about the siren there. We're having a blizzard here in Maine, and unfortunately that looks like somebody's in a compromising situation. Anyway, yeah. Nine of Diamonds. We'll wish them the best of luck and get on with the reading. All right. Okay. It is the Fool energy in the major arcana, which means to step out with a lightness of heart, a trust that the divine has your back, that you're in a good place at the right time. 2, step into a new version of you. So what you're clearing is unstable karma. It's the stuff that triggers those fears of consequences, of not being subservient to someone else. You care about the friendship, you care about the relationship, you care about your family, you care about the kids, you care about your friends, your co-workers. You may find yourself looking at what keeps you from holding your own within that, why you hold back, and why you allow such behavior without calling it out. There's a way to do this that you can lift that burden from yourself. It could be as easy as recognizing it and just not doing anything, right? Or it could be that you do bring it to light, given the opportunity to investigate and to understand the situation that's going on and why the need for it. What is that supporting for those that are initiating all of this, right? It can get pretty soupy. But our part is to look at what is undermining us being who we really want to be. That truthful, say no. The emperor is not wearing any clothes. And he's not. There's no clothes on the emperor, everybody. Right there, the elephant in the room. All right. So this is going to come a lot easier if we understand what we're doing here. We're intuitively seeking the truth of our own being, of our own underlying impulses to cave and allow the conditioning behavior to continue. So that's got to go. The way to do this is through realizing that with this Nine of Diamonds, we have an abundance of value to fall back on, value of self, value of our skills, our intuition, all of it is enough. We can do this, and we can do it by intuitively understanding how much to give freely. I mean, that's part of it. There can't be any needs around the giving. It has to be completely anonymous and without expectations. But giving in a valued way, compliments, money if you have it, whatever. It doesn't have to cost you any money. It can just be a good deed, holding a door open for someone, that kind of thing, to build the lovely, kind confidence that you know who you are at your core, worthy of every bit of that value that you know in your heart of hearts is there. Okay. Let's see what we get for the Lenormand card. Yeah, see, it's a bear. This is all about the wisdom of spending your value carefully. Who you're with, who you give it to, how much and when. Because you value yourself. It is not given lightly. It is given in the right measure at the right time to the right people, including yourself. Sometimes you have to do that first. Yeah, and to do all of this with that lightness of being, of trusting that this is the way it needs to go. So what came through was letting the dust settle. Collect yourself. Letting the dust settle over situations that are ongoing, continuing, situations that have come to light recently, because that's what we're doing here, and how you're going to be able to hold your own within them. So collect yourself when you can, knowing when you can, and knowing how to gather who you are, your values, and putting them in the basket, right? This basket of love and light that keeps you as well from being taken advantage of. That's a big part of this. All right. Okay, I think that's it. Let's see what we get for the starseed. Vision. Trust in your abilities to create the vision in your soul. Right along with the divine. The soul is beautiful. The soul is rich. The soul is lovely and beautiful. And you deserve every kindness the world has to offer. And to offer it in kind. It's beautiful. All right. Thank you. And as always, best of luck. Okay, Capricorn Moon. We are going to ask, what is Capricorn Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Libra and Aries skills of seeking balance and implementing your strengths, as always with kindness and curiosity, therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light into the world. Okay, Capricorn, Moon, you are emotionally Saturn led. So for you, it's letting the dust settle. Got to collect yourself and get in the mind of action instead of reaction before any conversations within your relationships. Wow. Okay. Clearing the dust, collecting yourself. Oh, I'm sorry. Letting the dust settle and collecting yourself to get in the mindset of holding your own and acting out of your own knowingness instead of reacting out of fear or want of pleasing and that kind of thing for a particular outcome. So to settle before any kind of conversation, gather your thoughts, and then as you broach the subject, you come at it from a incredibly solid, clear point of view. All right, here we go. Exorcist. Light attributes. Freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. All right. Shadow attributes. Fear of facing your own demons. Yeah, you see, that is exactly what that is about. You coming through with a very clean intention. Okay, so I'm reading this for myself as well. I am a Capricorn moon. It's my only anchor. So here we go. We are looking at exercising whatever is false, whatever is impure, that leads to destructive behavior. Destructive behavior in that you can set yourself up for, I won't say failure. Failure is not the word, but you're setting yourself up for the impulse, the reactionary, the conditioning way of behavior for something that undermines you being a true, truthful you. That's why we're being advised to ground and gather and have that mindset of solidness before anything is brought to light, so that you know exactly where you stand and where your power is. Not to react in some way that literally is fearing of facing the full truth. So you've got to gather in order to do that. You can't just step into something. You can sometimes. All right, sometimes that will be possible. But during this period over the next 2 weeks, we are looking to exercise destructive impulses. Destructive in what undermines. Okay. Yeah. That undermines and leads to supporting the bad behavior of not looking at, not dealing with the bad behavior. Of course, right? Of course. Oh, all right. Let's look at the spirit and nature. The 9 of Diamonds. Okay, so 9s. This is about letting go of old family DNA, karma, drama of family. This is literally allowing a newfound value to emerge by releasing what needs to go, releasing the parts that have been so deeply conditioned to behavior that is to serve someone other than yourself, because you can serve yourself as well as others. Sorry about the siren there. We're having a blizzard here in Maine, and unfortunately that looks like somebody's in a compromising situation. Anyway, yeah. 9 of Diamonds. We'll wish them the best of luck and get on with the reading. All right. Okay. It is the Fool energy in the major arcana, which means to step out with a lightness of heart, a trust that the divine has your back, that you're in a good place at the right time. 2, step into a new version of you. So what you're clearing is unstable karma. It's the stuff that triggers those fears of consequences, of not being subservient to someone else. You care about the friendship, you care about the relationship, you care about your family, you care about the kids, you care about your friends, your co-workers. You may find yourself looking at what keeps you from holding your own within that, why you hold back, and why you allow such behavior without calling it out. There's a way to do this that you can lift that burden from yourself. It could be as easy as recognizing it and just not doing anything, right? Or it could be that you do bring it to light, given the opportunity to investigate and to understand the situation that's going on and why the need for it. What is that supporting for those that are initiating all of this, right? It can get pretty soupy. But our part is to look at what is undermining us being who we really want to be. That truthful, say no. The Emperor is not wearing any clothes. And he's not. There's no clothes on the Emperor, everybody. Right there, the elephant in the room. All right. So this is going to come a lot easier if we understand what we're doing here. We're intuitively seeking the truth of our own being, of our own underlying impulses to cave and allow the conditioning behavior to continue. So that's got to go. The way to do this is through realizing that with this 9 of Diamonds, we have an abundance of value to fall back on. Value of self, value of our skills, our intuition, all of it is enough. We can do this, and we can do it by intuitively understanding how much to give freely. I mean, that's part of it. There can't be any needs around the giving. It has to be completely anonymous and without expectations. But giving in a valued way, compliments, money if you have it, whatever. It doesn't have to cost you any money. It can just be a good deed, holding a door open for someone, that kind of thing, to build the lovely, kind confidence that you know who you are at your core, worthy of every bit of that value that you know in your heart of hearts is there. Okay, let's see what we get for the Lenormand card. Yeah, see, it's a bear. This is all about the wisdom of spending your value carefully. Who you're with, who you give it to, how much and when. Because you value yourself. It is not given lightly. It is given in the right measure at the right time to the right people, including yourself. Sometimes you have to do that first. Yeah, and to do all of this with that lightness of being, of trusting that this is the way it needs to go. So what came through was letting the dust settle. Collect yourself. Letting the dust settle over situations that are ongoing, continuing, situations that have come to light recently, because that's what we're doing here, and how you're going to be able to hold your own within them. So collect yourself when you can, knowing when you can, and knowing how to gather who you are, your values, and putting them in the basket, right? This basket of love and light that keeps you as well from being taken advantage of. That's a big part of this. All right. Okay, I think that's it. Let's see what we get for the starseed. Vision. Trust in your abilities to create the vision in your soul. Right along with the divine. The soul is beautiful. The soul is rich. The soul is lovely and beautiful. And you deserve every kindness the world has to offer. And to offer it in kind. It's beautiful. All right. Thank you. And as always, best of luck. Okay, Aquarius Moon, we are going to ask, what is Aquarius Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Libra and Aries skills of seeking balance and implementing your strengths, as always with kindness and curiosity, therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light into the world. Okay, Aquarius Moon, you are emotionally Saturn led. So for you, it's about keeping the focus on yourself. You are to watch the watcher within. Watch the reactions and let that guide you in conversations within relationships. So it's going to be some sort of self-study. You're going to really want to observe how you are acting or reacting in any given situation to see where all of this is going to be switching and becoming something of a stronger you. All right, let's see what you get for the archetype card. Slave, the light attributes, surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. The shadow attributes, giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. So, trusting in the divine or allowing yourself to be manipulated or convinced or go with the flow or giving too much of yourself to hope that it goes for the greater good, that it is returned in good kind, right? In kind. How often does that happen? Or how often do you find yourself being taken advantage of? That's the real question. Are you giving too much? Giving your freedom, really, out of some necessity. Okay, so keeping an eye on how you're doing you. Giving too much or in the right measure? Are you allowing the divine to come through and give you direction? Are you listening to the divine? Ooh, that just came through. Perhaps not. Perhaps you're turning a, I want to say blind ear. That's what's coming through, but I know it's the blind eye. But you are turning the volume down on the divine, your intuition, denying it in order to keep some kind of status quo for whatever reason. Clearly you would do it for a benefit, right? Keeping the peace. Maybe it's how you make a living. Okay, so that's what we're looking for here. The Jack of Diamonds. All right, so perhaps it is about how you are making a living, because the Jack of Diamonds is coined the salesman card because they just have a real sense of value around what they're selling, and not completely necessary. Sometimes they're just good salesmen. They can sell refrigerators to the Eskimos, that kind of thing. So there's some truth that needs to have happen here. And that truth needs to come about in a given value of what you're finding yourself in, a true value, a real value, you investing in that value. And obviously, of course, this value, this thing is you. So Jacks encompass the aces, twos, and threes. So that bright, brilliant opportunity to see, because you're being asked to observe yourself, watch the watcher, or the watcher is watching, how you are you, to contemplate reflection on how things are moving into action. So that's the opportunity that you have here about really recognizing and honoring your true value. Because when you can honor and see the real value, within, the real you, not the one that you set aside and sacrifice for whatever his needs are being met, but the you that is real and true and giving, and that lightness of being within. Because once you recognize that, then you can make that connection a little deeper, allowing the intuition, the knowing, the showing of your true value, because that is where it's all headed. You expressing a truer love of self, of you, trusting that you'll be okay if you say no every once in a while, or you exert or allow or express an opinion, a desire, a need. And of course, doing that in the best way possible, not forceful, not mean, not accusatory, not as a victim, but as someone that has just realized that this is a new truth about you that needs to be met. That's all. I love it. No way to go but up with the Jack of Diamonds. It's all about the value that you are being asked to find and acknowledge and allow. It's like, get this vision of a bud opening and just blooming and becoming this extraordinarily beautiful flower that is admired, a very rare, beautiful occurrence that's you. Yeah, the birds and the chatter, and it's all going to be just a beautiful experience for you to have that conversation. That's what the birds are. These are just allowing that intuitive, opening that door to your divine spirit guide, is allowing that conversation to happen. Birds, incredibly spiritual messengers from spirit. That is what you're being asked ultimately to allow here, so that you can be that much more divinely guided. It's coming through as it happens for you. You know what that is. It's just they're asking for a little bit more presence from you, acknowledging that they're there and that they're guiding you, and that you can trust in that and allow that to happen, to bloom. Why not, right? Can you think of one good reason why not? If you can, then give it some thought, because that's exactly what they're asking you to do. They want you to be really observant of where you're giving too much or of yourself and undermining your own value. All right? All right. Inner alchemy. For the starseed, inner alchemy is achieved when you react to fear with love. Yeah, so whatever that fear is, I know that's just the word. It could be fear. Here, there, I'm feeling more like there's a reason why you're not moving forward out of this box that you have found yourself in, with the clarity that they're asking you to open yourself to. to figure out this value. It's nothing that needs to be shared too quickly. That's another thing that's coming through. Really settle into this alchemy, settle into some sort of practice before you exert this kind of energy into your conversations, if that's possible. All right. All right. You've got time, lots of time. It's just the beginning in this next couple of weeks. You've got 6 months for this whole thing to unfold, and it could be longer than that. That's the eclipse part. But this is where you are being asked to give some attention. All right. Well, thank you, and best of luck. Okay, Pisces Moon, we are going to ask, what is Pisces Moon ready to release and practice clearing over the next 2 weeks while utilizing Libra and Aries skills, seeking balance and implementing your strengths, as always, with kindness and curiosity, therefore fortifying a higher vibrational aura and bring that light into the world. Pisces Moon, you are emotionally Jupiter led. So for you, it'll be about staying focused despite the maneuvers of distractions that you face within your conversations. How do you stay on topic when somebody wants to squirm out of that? Yeah, maybe it's you. How do you distract within a conversation? Change the subject, that kind of thing. Do you have that happen to you, or do you find yourself doing that on a regular basis to avoid having those conversations? Let's find out what the archetype is for you. Servant. Light attributes. Delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. The shadow side. Using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. Money. I would take that into value. So whatever you value, not just money, but feeling a lack of having enough of something, enough of inner strength, enough free time, enough love, enough of energy. We do get tired sometimes, don't we? Just kind of feeling the weight of this feeling of what it must have been like for my grandmother with 11 kids. A classroom of students, a large family that you are in some way responsible for. Maybe you're the CEO of a very troubled company, and you are really loving, wanting to do the right thing for everybody, yet it is exhausting because once you begin giving too much, people just take. And then you find yourself feeling really depleted. So that is really what this card is about. Everybody's got to serve somebody. Bob Dylan. Yes, 'tis true. But we do need to be taking care of ourselves as much as we take care of other people. And that's basically what we're looking at here. Where does that need to shift? So every time you find yourself being asked of or expected to just do for someone, right? How are those maneuvers, that really manipulation of you taking place. How to put a pin in it is what's coming through. All right, let's find out. So, Spirit and Nature, Six of Hearts. This is about the alchemy of life. You can see it's got the, what is that called? Fibonacci symbol, where you find it in nature. It is the ultimate beautiful way to focus, put a focal point in a painting, in architecture, in life itself, because it is all of a divine essence, that spirit. And the sixes. The sixes are at the top of the game. They are in the moment, celebrating a success. This is very good because it's Venus led and you're Jupiter led. So there can be all of this expression of happiness and joy and love of the doing. But now is the time that that doing needs to include you. And it's not to say that you haven't been, but it's to say that in your relationships, there is a certain imbalance here. So the Libra full moon wants you to concentrate on what that might be. Something will come to light, bits and pieces. Over the next couple of weeks, you will see the path forward. It's going to take about 6 months or so. It could take a little longer for all of this to work itself out. You're being asked to really pay close attention to how strings are being pulled for puppeteering, whether that's you or whether that's other people. So you want to be caring for yourself, right? So if you're allowing other people to do these things for you, you could be undermining your own skills, your own talents, your own value of emotional security in that. You want to be meeting people halfway, whichever halfway that is. Okay? That's what's coming through for you, because this Six of Hearts is really finding that balanced emotions. It's a commitment to yourself as well as other people. There's a nurturing, as a servant would nurture. Yet there's that nature that has to happen too. So it's that kind of balance. There's a truth-seeking element here as well. Emotionally, really grounding into that for you. Because there's going to be some distractions going on, whether that's you, right, for yourself, or other people trying to distract you from finding that balance because they're quite happy with the situation the way it is. Of course. Maybe you've got a teenager that isn't quite ready to grow all the way up, or a husband, or a wife, or some family member, or friends, or whatever it is. I know I'm joking. That's coming completely from me, but you understand where I'm coming from here. It is you literally creating something for yourself, a focal point of you bringing your universe into focus. And with a focus point, a point of focus, and allowing all of that to organically grow. That was straight from source. All right, here we go. Let's see what the Lenormand card has. Oh, it's got the heart. So yeah, this is you with a romance with you, right? Not to distract yourself from it, but to embrace it, to find that love within and really grow that nature, nurture it, bring that to fruition so that you can be the best that you can be. Loving kindness and giving the right way. So delightful and fun to be able to do that with other people freely, right? Without need or want or expectation. Just you really being that lovely lightness of being. All right. For yourself and everyone else. Despite the maneuvers of distraction. Stay focused. All right, let's see what you get for the starseed inner worlds. Your external world is a reflection of your inner world. Absolutely, exactly that. Exactly that. Oh, beautiful. All right. Thank you, Pisces, and best of luck.